paid program. Views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of CBS Radio, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed. We have the panel in today. Nicole Moscow from RE/MAX Milford. Hey, Nicole, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. And, of course, always Harry Glanz and Alex Nafusi. Hey, gentlemen, how are you this morning?
Guys?
What is up? It's 9:01 outside. And it's definitely a cloudy day, and we've had this unbelievable winter/fall we've had, which, Nicole, we're glad to have a real estate agent. Home buying season in 2015, rolling into 2000. It's never going to stop. It is gangbusters.
It is.
And you need to get out there.
It hasn't really slowed down at all.
No. There's no slowdown.
Nope.
Absolutely no slowdown. I mean, it could be the first year that I remember that really, Harry, there's no slowdown.
It hasn't slowed down since 2012, which we predicted. If you remember sitting here in January 2012, we said 2012 was going to be a great year. So 12, 13, 14, 15, and now 16. It's hot out there. The market is hot.
Absolutely. So people thinking about listing their house and trying to wait till spring can actually list now, and it's still going to go just as fast as it will in the spring.
Right. Multiple bids, though, for those buyers out there, because we do feel like that shortage of great homes could be a problem coming this spring. So if you are considering home ownership, maybe now's the time. Maybe you don't want to fight or overbid for houses. And then, again, we don't know where the rates are going to be come March, April, May.
No, I mean, rates are obviously, a big factor in any transaction, and I don't want to obviously have a crystal ball. If I did, I'd be on Wall Street, still on a bet of money.
I'd be retired.
Yeah,
right. Absolutely.
Man. Rates are, I think they're going to stay pretty steady. The market's obviously, taking a big beating, for the first couple weeks of 2016. But you have to hold the course and go with it. The market, Harvey said, is very, very strong. I had a transaction a couple weeks ago, towards the end of December, and we were trying to get it closed before, and I'm doing air quotes, the holidays. And she said, well, we have to close before the 21st because then, then the spring breaks, or the winter break starts. I'm like, winter break? Well, she said,
For the kids.
The kids get the kids get off school. We have to see before they get off school. I'm like, yeah, the kids also have recess, which doesn't exist in real life. Don't say it gives you 2 weeks to close.
No.
I'm not even start that with me.
I'm a mom of 5, so I can totally sympathize with that. I get it.
Is that all 5?
Just 5.
Wow. Hey, we're going to take your calls this morning.
Imagine how many times you had to try to have 5.
248-539-9797. Hey, guys, one of the greatest things about living in Metro Detroit was last night, I think. I mean, I watched it on TV, but the auto show was last night. Detroit's one of our finest days here. The cars look sweet. Of course, the automotive industry has rebounded. People are back working in Southeast Michigan. It all adds. When people are working in your community, home values are going to move in the right direction.
Hey, it's what we have around here, the auto show. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. I'm going to make a big deal about it. I'm making a big deal about it over here. I'm making a big deal about it over here.
Yep.
So, I mean, again, a great night, though. Anything that brings a lot of attention, I think, to our area is fantastic. A good attention, that is, not what's going on in other parts of our state right now. But, hey, the greatest thing out there, if you're just tuning in, is take advantage of what could really help your family. Again, are you thinking about stepping up into a bigger home? Are you thinking about maybe if you haven't refinanced or if you bought a house in the last 5 or 10 years, definitely think about refinancing, getting your financial house in order, consolidating first and second mortgages. We got tons to share with you here, so be sure to keep it here. And if you want to call in, 248-539-9797.
What I've seen a lot of in the last, probably 8 to 10 months is, Harvey, you kind of coined the phrase, the boomerang buyer. The people that hit a rough patch in 2008, 2009, they lost their house, they came back in, they bought in 2011, 12, and they went FHA. And back at that point in time, the FHA, the private mortgage insurance on FHA loan, was very, very expensive. If you bought a house for $100,000, your monthly mortgage insurance was somewhere around 120.
Yeah, at 1.35%, right.
Very, very expensive. Well, what's happened now is those people have, they've got their feet back underneath them, and there's some equity back in the properties. But the market's come back, and I've refinanced a lot of these people out of that PMI. We can actually go to 97% loan to value, and have the mortgage insurance. We can do what's called lender paid mortgage insurance. And we can pay that for you up front. And I explained to people, well, I'm at 3 3/4 on my rate right now on a 30-year fixed, and I don't want to refinance at 4.5. I'm not quoting rates, just throwing it out there, but I don't want to refinance at 4.5. I'm like, listen, dude, your payment's going down. $150 a month. Your rate at this point in time is a complete
Right.
moot point. It doesn't make a difference about anything. So stop that. Don't tell me about your rate. It's what the payment is.
Right, and we had those clients also, Alex. It's a great point because we also had the client that, like you said, was already in the house for 3 or 4 years. Now they're dropping down to a 20-year and getting rid of that mortgage insurance.
Guys, as you know, doing this for a lot of years, the only thing people really know about the mortgage industry is what?
The
Rate?
payment?
What's your rate?
Yeah.
Yep.
You got to take a look at the entire financial picture and how it's helping you out. Okay, so rate a lot of times is irrelevant.
It is.
If you're paying off debt, if you're paying off a second, if you're paying off certain credit cards, you have to take a look at the overall financial picture. And as you know, when you go out and you tell people you're in the mortgage business, the first question they ask you is, what are rates?
What's your rate?
What do you want it to be?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, again, the loan level pricing adjustments are out there, and again, people think that if you see something published sometimes, and we always use the show as a consumer advocate show to sort of give you the education behind you. What you see published out there is usually the best execution. Best execution means typically people with the highest credit score, 760 and above, and also other variables such as loan to values that are 80% or lower, meaning that they have at least 20% equity. So again, there's a lot of variables out there. Also, if you don't read the fine print, some of the companies out there that are just advertising the rate in the fine print, it'll suggest that there might be a discount point or two added into the closing cost. As you mentioned, Alex, you can get any rate you want, and I know for a fact that you can get the best rates at Capital Mortgage Funding, and I wanted to throw it out there because we have a staff full all weekend long, 1-800 low rate, the best mortgage banker. That's 1-800-569-7283. I spoke to Dan. He was excited about getting in there this morning. A lot of the families now, they're not waiting to March and April. They're going to get that pre-approval letter now, and they're getting a real approval, a real commitment from Capital. And that's what the builders and that's what the other real estate agents want to see, that it's with a legitimate place.
Until April or May to buy? And Nicole, I mean, I guess
what we have right now is a lot of people coming out of rentals, so they're not waiting; they're getting approved now, and then we're going to start hitting the streets.
Well, yeah,
in March.
when April, May comes around,
Right.
That's when the market, prices tend to go up. in the
Absolutely,
spring.
I
Right
agree
now,
with you.
In January, February, people are like, dude, just
Well,
sell my house, Nicole.
right,
I got to
and-
get out of here.
right.
Nicole, everything
absolutely.
looks better in the spring and summer, right?
Oh yeah,
Everything looks better. So,
Yep.
I mean, if you're trudging around in what's going on outside right now, things don't look so good.
Right.
So when you wait, if people put their houses up for sale in the spring and summer, typically,
Typically, they go faster. Absolutely. Like right now, if you look on the MLS, everything looks so dingy and dreary. Like I'm like going through the pictures, like, wow, these don't even look that
At least
nice.
update the pictures. You can have,
Well,
yeah,
no,
at
it's
least
just
they're
because
current.
I mean, exactly.
do you have your high school picture on your website and everything?
No.
No, she's current.
What do you
on
mean?
your business
What are you
card.
That's like a
talking
typical
about?
realtor thing.
That's when you're like
No.
60 and 70 as a realtor. You show the
just
picture
wait
when you
until I'm
started.
older, okay?
Yeah, she's going to wait.
I mean, it is 2 years old.
Okay.
So,
You'll use it when you're 60.
I will,
Hey,
totally.
I'm busting on myself. Mine's 10 years old on our website. I'm not kidding.
No gray in that
I'm not
shot,
changing
Harry.
it.
Not that you haven't.
now you're going to make me run out and update it.
I'm not
That
changing it.
Glamour
complex.
shots.
I don't care. I'm not changing it.
I wouldn't
Whatever.
either.
Harry, you mentioned it. You said, the typical conversation when you're talking to people about mortgages and such, they find out you're in the mortgage industry. And again, all of the loan officers out there know is, what's your rate? You could be hanging out with your family members for 30 years, and all of a
What's your
sudden,
rate?
the only thing they notice ask you is, what's your rate?
It's amazing.
And it is amazing. Mortgage rates, though, really are fantastic. I mean, right now, 7-month lows again. Of course, yesterday the stock market and the oil prices continue to lose. Investors flee the stock market. They throw their money into the less riskier bond market, and then there's a demand for the bond market, and then rates either stay low or they get a little bit lower. They didn't really drop significantly in the last 2 days, and that's because we're going into MLK on Monday, so it's a 3-day weekend on Wall Street, and typically investors in our markets price things out a little bit more conservatively, but we'll see where everything lays out next week. Again, most of us would rather have a 0.125 higher interest rate and have our stock market and our 401ks do a lot better.
Well, that's the thing. The market's down. The average 401k is down about $7,000. All right. So what would you rather have? An eighth, a quarter lower in mortgage rates and no savings interest? Okay. The stock market down, your 401k down. Listen, you don't want bad news. Problem is bad news makes interest rates go down.
Right. We'd rather have better news.
I don't want bad news. I want good news. Let rates go up a little bit. They're still going to be very, very low. So, I mean, look in 1966, mortgage interest rates were at 4.25. Okay? They're lower than that right now.
Exactly.
So if they go up to 4.25,
They're right at a 50-year low then.
Who cares?
That's right. You're at a 50-year low. So, I mean, What are you worried about?
Yeah, stay the course. And Alex, our friend Rick Bone and all our stockbroker buddies out there, of course, it's always about staying the course, sticking to what your plan is. Don't panic. A lot of families out there think when the stock market tanks, it's a buying time. So
It is a buying time.
fantastic times. 9/11 here this morning. That's the music that says we're up against our first break. But when we come back, we're going to answer all your questions on mortgages, purchasing a home, and refinancing. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glantz for Capital Mortgage Funding. Rates are at historic lows, and they're not going down to zero. So what are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE and let our award-winning staff help you save money. If you're looking to purchase a new home, refinance your existing home, and you want to save money, call 1-800-LOW-RATE and take advantage of these historic low rates. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. What are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE. Capital Mortgage Funding is powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS ID number 2289, Equal Housing Lender.
Now open. The all-new Summit Place Kia in Clinton Township is now open for business. We built the biggest Kia dealership in Michigan to sell and service more new cars than ever. Now Summit Place Kia in Waterford and the all-new Summit Place Kia in Clinton Township will do whatever it takes to earn your business. We'll take any trade-in in any condition, even if you owe thousands more than your old car is worth. Plus, if you've got $500 and you make at least $2,000 a month, you ride with as little as $0 down. New 2016 Kia Souls or Forte, your choice. $0 down, just $14,991, or lease two 2016 Souls or two 2016 Fortes for one low payment of $222 per month. The all-new Summit Place Kia in Clinton Township is now open for business, and we're making deals other dealers won't. Summit Place Kia in Waterford and the all-new Summit Place Kia in Clinton Township. Call 1-800-NEW-KIAs.
239-month leases, $38.99 each to inside plus tax, tag and title, no security deposit, negative trade equity, financed to new loan subject to lender approval.
SummitPlaceKia.com.
This is a special announcement for Men with ED. A local medical clinic is offering free doses of a breakthrough ED medication to the first 75 men who call now. This offer is to spread awareness about a treatment that's 98% effective, even for men who can't take prescription ED medications. You'll receive a personalized, custom blend of the latest FDA-approved medications, formulated to treat sexual performance problems caused by diabetes, cardiovascular problems, low testosterone, or depression. Your appointment will be at a private and professional medical office with a doctor representing a physician network that has helped over 50,000 men regain their performance in just one office visit. If you thought your ED symptoms were untreatable, don't miss this opportunity to get a free dose of a highly effective, rapid-acting medication. This offer is limited to the next 75 men who call. You must act now to reserve your free dose of this breakthrough treatment. That's 800-896-9400. 800-896-9400. 800-896-9400. Brought to you by Boston Medical Group.
Looking to save money on Medicare Part D? Switch your prescriptions to Walgreens. With copays as low as $1, you could be looking at some real savings. And now you can preview the cost of your scripts before you fill with Walgreens' new Medicare prescription copay quote. And that's kind of a big deal. Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy.
Quote subject to change and available only for select Part D plans. $1 copay applies to Tier 1 generics.
You may think being totally blind is the greatest challenge I face, but actually, it's the fact that I'm often wide awake at 3 a.m. and struggling to stay awake in the middle of the day. This is called Non-24, and it affects up to 70% of people who are totally blind, like me. It makes just getting through the day a real struggle. Learn more about Non-24 by calling 855-856-2424 or visiting learnmore-non24.com.
Sponsored by Vanda Pharmaceuticals. Don't have time to talk? Send us a text instead. The Galliana's Van Dyke Dodge ticket text at 97136. Don't overpay. Get into Galliana's Van Dyke Dodge today.
Even if you miss the game, we'll make you feel like you were there. 97.1 The Ticket.
We are back, 9:15. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. You can always shoot us an email, mortgage.show@lowrateonline.com. Find us. It's going to be worth your time to definitely get a real approval letter from real mortgage bankers. And Alex, boy, oh boy, you know it's under my skin. all these bad people that were in the industry are starting to creep up again. I'm seeing them come out everywhere. I don't know where they worked before.
How do you
but
find them? I don't.
they're out there. I'm running into them at restaurants. I'm running into them at gas stations. And more importantly, again, if you're comfortable with the person you've worked with for a number of years, then stick with them. If you think that there's something better out there, then maybe make a call or two. Be loyal. Get real professional help and deal with professionals. It's going to really benefit you, especially if you're out there, Nicole, as we know, looking at houses. It's very emotional stuff out there.
Absolutely.
You put together your 5 to 10 things that you're really looking for in a house. You got your approval letter intact. You got to go out there and start looking at these homes and find out what's going to work for you.
Absolutely. And I think you should always hire, like if you're a buyer, you should hire a buyer's agency because they're protecting your interest. When you walk into a house and you have the seller's agent do it, they're protecting the seller. They're not protecting both of you. They're only protecting them. That's who they sign the contract with, and that's what they're doing. So it's not going to cost you any more money to have a buyer's agent. They're just going to make sure your interests are protected.
I think one of the worst things someone can do, and I'm all for just driving around areas you want to live in, and just if you find a house or you will sign up, that by all means, I think it's great. Drive the spots that you want to live. I think the worst thing someone can do is call somebody off a sign that's stuck in the ground, and it's probably not the greatest analogy.
I feel like a lot of buyers
ahead,
feel like sorry.
It was a comment on a period. But if you want to go ahead, go.
I feel like a lot of buyers, though, they feel like they're going to get a better deal on the house if they call the listing agent. Like that listing agent's going to cut their commission or something to.
No, they're not.
And it's not. It's not. Or they're going to get a better deal with a.
I always use the analogy that like if you're in trouble, you can't have the same attorney prosecute you and defend you at the same time. It just doesn't. I mean, it doesn't work that way. You need to have somebody 100% on your side at all times.
I think so. I think that's a good point to make also. And we like the separation. And listing agents that are real professional specifically work that listing agent angle. And again, who doesn't want to be a listing agent? Of course, the sign goes in the ground, then you don't have to show buyers a home. But then on the other side of it, buyers agents if you got a great buyers agents, they can bring a lot to the table. They have the knowledge of the communities, the school districts. Dan Dubinsky talked about it last week. If there's a new grocery store going in or strip mall, things that could be some form of functional obsolescence, something that could bring down the value, and all the different reasons why you should be buying this house or looking at this house or even maybe overbidding because this house is going to work and fit your needs. So that's the important part of it, is really to focus in and make sure that the decisions you make and the house that you get is the one you're going to want to stay in for a while.
And that goes for new builds too, because a lot of people think they go in and they talk to the salesperson and they're getting a deal by just working with that builder, and that's not necessarily true ever. They need someone to go in there and make sure what they're building is what they want and get all the, the terms of what they're building.
Well, we talk about all the time here, and if you want to join the show, 248-539-9797. Housing affordability. I mean, it's easier access to mortgage approval pretty much in the last hearing. I think you want to chime in on this one. In the last 12 to 24 months, it appears that, Fannie and Freddie started the 3% down conventional, which was off the table for a number of years. That's back now. Job security is really good here, but housing affordability, are the wages keeping up with the appreciation because we don't have a lot of house? We do see that regionally in some areas. I don't know if it really affects us in Metro Detroit. You see a little bit here.
Well, first of all, the coast, the East Coast, the West Coast, are typically areas where home prices are the highest. All right. And if you're asking me my opinion, I think based on fact, is that wages are not keeping up with home prices. Okay. And that's why there are so many products on the East Coast and West Coast, hybrid products that people have to go to other than a fixed rate product because they can't afford the house. Around here, we're pretty lucky. We have great quality of life. We're a major league town. And the affordability of houses is well within reason for all the services that you get in our area. So it's an extremely affordable area to live in around here with everything that you get in the Detroit metropolitan area. So the answer to the question is no, wages are not keeping up with the values of homes in certain areas.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to be like a fun governor today, but the prices are back to almost like bubble-esque where they were.
In certain areas, they're over where they were.
People never learn, man. Like, dude, you're not going to get. Listen, I'm a Royal Oak guy. I mean, I love it. I'm down there. I love that whole Woodward corridor. You're not going to get $300 a square foot in Michigan. It's not. I mean, the wages aren't supported. It's just not there. And I don't want people to start taking, these hybrid mortgages, the 3-year ARM and buying the rate down to 2%. Like, listen, I say it week in and week out.
That's a temporary fix.
Yeah. Dude, listen, we're paid based on loan size, just like Nicole's paid based on purchase price. I'm telling you right now, you don't need it. Like, you don't need the huge house. Here, we were talking the other day at lunch, and I forget what article I read. Somebody said, why are you spending money on a house you can't afford to impress people you don't like? It doesn't.
Right. On people that don't care.
On people that don't care.
That don't care about you. On things that don't matter in your life.
You don't need it, man.
I agree.
Just simple.
Well, stay within your means.
It's easy.
Here, and to get this out on the table, Harvey, because I know you're going to say it, Alex is a Gen Xer. He's not a millennial. They're the millennials, the Generation Xers, the baby boomers.
Thank you.
Okay, that's how this whole thing works, okay?
Our young lad is growing up here, yes.
So the boomer generation, my generation, we spent a lot of money on a lot of bad things, a lot of credit cards and all that kind of thing. We hope that the Generation Xers learn from that and don't have credit card debt. And the millennials are being saddled right now with student loan debt, okay? However, is they're not saving a lot of money, but they're not going into as much credit card debt either. And they're putting buying a house on the back burner so far, but we're seeing a lot of millennials now moving into the housing market. What's crazy about millennials, they're looking to rent what's called micro apartments, 200, 300, 400 square foot apartments for some ungodly amount of money to live in urban areas.
Yes.
Which, I got news for you. I need my room. I mean, I can't, it might be cool for a while to live in a real, real small place, but I don't get it.
Yeah, to each his own, for sure on that.
But it's happening. And those are the things that are happening right now. But as soon as they start getting a little older, if you're 22 to 27, 28, you might dig it. You might think it's cool, groovy, and hip. But you're going to need some space, and you're going to need to buy a crib. Trust me.
Eventually, they'll be calling us to get that approval letter, hopefully.
And I mean a crib for the baby that you're going to have.
A real crib.
Yeah, a real crib. Now, if you want a bigger crib, a house to live in, I'm from Detroit. I grew up in Detroit. I could say crib.
Yeah. 248-539-9797. Here we are 3 weeks into the year. 2015 ended on really positive notes. Record high auto sales, positive job growth in our area, the housing market. It was definitely great in 2015 and poised to be a very great year in 2016. Some information came in from Fannie Mae this week. They have it somewhere around a 4% appreciation across the United States. Wherever that shakes out, again, you're going to have a roof over your head. It's a place to raise your family. We're seeing a little of everything out there here. As you mentioned, the different age groups. Some of the folks, as they get into the baby boomers, are even considering now the kids are out of the house. They've gone through college. Some of them love their homes. They've paid them off. They've done the right things. Some of them are looking at downsize. So there is a little of everything out there. Some of them actually could just move, get up and move because they're getting closer to retirement years and maybe their families have moved elsewhere or they're just going to sell the house to be closer to their kids. So there's a lot of everything out there. And again, we want to set you up so that you have that roof over your head as you get into the baby boomer age, 50, 60, 78. As you move towards that in life, it would be really nice, Alex, to have the house paid off free and clear. So maybe stay within your means.
That's the goal, is to pay your house off. The whole point of taking a mortgage is to pay it off. And
right.
I tell people, every time I do a refinance, I always stress them, listen, do you want to shorten the term? Well, no, we don't want to shorten the term. We need to save some money. And that's fine. But keep in mind, when you refinance, you're extending that term over again. So if you're 10 years into a term, you've now made this a 40-year mortgage. So over the life of the loan, it's going to cost you more to do that. What you do is keep making the same payment you're making currently and stay on track to pay it off. My parents, they have a nice house and, I have a brother and a sister and, lived comfortably growing up and, the house is paid for and they're like, we just don't need the room anymore and this and that. And I say, guys, when you think about it, if you bought, a condo or something in Royal Oak, even for $400,000 or $500,000, your taxes are going to be $9,000. I mean, just think about where you're at right now. I mean, you're better off hiring an entire team to take care of the house and the landscape and all that as opposed to doing that. I mean, you really have to think about where you're you worked your whole life to pay the house off. Don't go and buy something else. Just, you have to think about it. Everything's on a case-by-case basis.
Right. Maybe just downsizing.
I agree.
Maybe just downsizing for them would work. And a lot of families it would work just better than...
But then the taxes,
downsizing isn't
I
always the
get
best
you.
way to go. I mean,
Right.
if you buy a condo, you got the association fees, the taxes go up.
Right.
I mean, you're
right.
It's a lot. Adds up, man.
Let me throw the number out there, 248-539-9797. If you'd like to join us here on the show, we take all your phone calls.
Well, hey, Harvey, my favorite
definitely
subject.
need calls.
I want to ask Nicole a question. My favorite subject is home value.
Yeah.
Right now, I'd like to ask Nicole, right now, what are you seeing out there in the market in terms of home value? Are appraisals coming in, Nicole, in the houses that you're selling?
I haven't had any issues with appraisals thus far, last year or this year, so far. So,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
nothing, not one.
That's
Not one
really good.
value, but I also do a lot of research before we write the offer to make sure we're where we need to be on value.
Yeah, so just to give people a stat out there, in our office, we run about, between, say, 1% and 3% on values coming in a little bit low. Very rarely do they come in high, right, Harvey? Except when Harvey gets one.
And Harvey gets mad about
that
it.
comes in high. But
Well, you do get
We've
crazy
had a
things
few
out
that
there.
come
We've
in
had some.
higher.
We've
Yep.
had some come in higher. We had an interesting thing where a gentleman was going through a divorce. I don't, obviously give out too much information. Gentleman, got an appraisal done at 280. Then we go ahead and do one, and it's like a 180 appraisal. There's some interesting things that still go on in the appraisal world. In fact, when we come back, we'll talk about that. Down payment, saving for a down payment. You want to become a homeowner? Keep it here. 248-539-9797.
Bloated belly? Gas? Acid reflux? You could have pounds of rotting, rancid, toxic gunk clogging up your gut right now. And with all the processed food we're exposed to today, it's no wonder why. Fortunately, there's New Biotics, our first ever gunk buster for cleansing that toxic gunk out of your body. And right now, we're giving away a free trial to anyone who calls the following toll-free number, 1-800-978-1233. Strict limit of 1 free trial per household. With pounds of toxic gunk clogging up your gut, it's no wonder you don't feel good. Made with natural ingredients, New Biotics is our first ever gunk buster scientifically designed to unclog your gut and cleanse that gunk from your body, flattening your belly and combating periodic bloating, excess gas, heartburn, and acid reflux. But hurry, call now for your free trial of New Biotics while we're still giving it away for free. 1-800-978-1233. Call now for details. 1-800-978-1233. That's 1-800-978-1233.
Next Radio presents Live FM radio versus buffering.
Oh, this will be awesome. Come on, you big stud.
How do you do that?
This is live with my Next Radio app I downloaded today.
No, really, stop. I'm not there yet. I'm still hearing the announcers babbling on about the track conditions.
Go, 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 go. Winner, winner, time for dinner! Woohoo!
Yay. Don't let life pass you by. Get the Next Radio app now. It's your favorite local FM stations over the air. No stream required. And when the data network goes down, you can still listen, no problem. Don't miss your favorite sporting events, music, news, whatever. Live as it happens. Yeah. Great. Skip the buffer. Skip buffering and get the free Next Radio app today.
Next Radio.
Helmet? Check. Knee pads? Check. Shoulder pads? Check. Heart? Check.
For student athletes, being ready for the game means more than just the right equipment in practice. It means making sure their heart is healthy enough for sports. 97.1 The Ticket's Student Heart Check program partners with Beaumont so students can be screened for heart problems that aren't included in a regular physical. Make a donation and you'll help support free screenings for students who can't afford it. Donate today at cbsdetroit.com/Student Heart Check. Did you know there's more than one Las Vegas? There's the Strip with families on vacation and questionable odds. Then there's downtown Vegas, the original gambling and entertainment mecca. That's where you'll find the D Las Vegas. Book your stay today at thed.com. The D Las Vegas, your home for Detroit sports in Vegas.
Be sure to stop by McDonald's for a free small coffee each and every Monday. Let McDonald's make your Monday. Only at participating McDonald's for a limited time.
Sports news all day, every day. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
Brought to you by National Benefit Plan for Affordable Health and Life Insurance. Go to nbphealth.com. Chris Davis signs with the Baltimore Orioles. 7 years, $161 million was his deal. Meanwhile, the Tigers agree on a 1-year, $2.1 million avoidance of arbitration contract with All-Star shortstop Jose Iglesias. Pistons, Golden State tonight at the Palace. Ben Wallace will have his jersey retired by the Pistons. U of D Mercy basketball at home today against Oakland U at Callahan Hall. 2:50 on 97.1 theticket.com. Dan the Spaceman Leach on the call. NHL trade, the Coyotes send All-Star John Scott to Montreal for defenseman Jared Tenorti in a multiplayer deal. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they named Dirk Koetter as their head coach in football. Steelers will not have Antonio Brown when they face the Broncos tomorrow in their AFC divisional game. He has a concussion. From the 1-800 Call Sam Studios, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 97.1theticket.com.
We never miss the Extra Point. 97.1, The Ticket.
Alrighty, welcome back to the show. 9:31 if you're just tuning in. Broadcasting live here on 97.1 Studios. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call at Capital all week long, all day long at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. That's 1-800-569-7283. We're going to go out to some calls here. We got Maria in Rochester Hills. Good morning, Maria. You're live on The Ticket.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's going on?
I have a question. I'm interested in buying some real estate property, and it's really it's a home that I want to rent out, a little bungalow home. My question is, what's the best way to finance that? Would I take out a mortgage? I can pay for it in cash. Someone had mentioned doing a home equity loan, taking that out and paying. I don't know.
Well,
I'm kind of
okay. Let me ask you a couple questions, Maria. So, what's the purchase price on the house that you want to buy?
The home is $100,000. Is that what you're talking? Is that what you asked?
Yep. And so you mentioned a home equity loan. Your house right now is it owned free and clear? Is there a bunch of equity in there? What?
Yes, there's a lot of equity.
I think.
I would say it's half paid off.
What's your house worth right now? What's your primary residence worth?
4. It's 4.
And you owe $200,000 on it?
Yes.
It's going to be cheap. What's the rate on that loan right now?
3.
Oh, you're
It's an arm.
Oh, well, so see, here's what this might be like something we can like take care of for you. So you're on an arm right now. The rate's going to go up. I mean, you're at 3 right now. It's eventually going to go up. You might be better off taking that your current arm and taking out $100,000 and going to $300,000, paying cash for the house you want to rent out, and getting back onto a 30-year fixed or a 15-year fixed, whatever you want to do on that. And I say that because rental rates are a little bit higher than a primary residence. So, I mean, if we can get you into a fixed product on your primary and get the cash out, that's the way to go. It's going to save you money in the long run, for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So one new mortgage, right? Pay off your existing loan. We'd refinance your existing house. You got plenty of equity there. Take the $100,000 of equity out, but also lock into a fixed rate on that mortgage and then use the cash to purchase the new place for cash. Plus it gives you, sometimes when you make an offer with cash, it does make these sellers a little bit more excited. It gives you an opportunity to offer them a quicker closing.
Right. That's where I'm at. Okay.
How long do you plan on being in your primary residence?
We'll be in here for a while. Our kids are still little.
And that's the way to go. Do a fixed rate.
Yeah.
100%. Maria, I'll call after the show and get that taken care of for you.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much. See ya.
That's a great call. Actually, it's nice when you have equity because then you have some options. And again, sometimes people start because there is a lot of equity out there now that families didn't have. And we do want to throw out, be careful out there. And again, sort of the consumer advocate side of us is always telling people, be careful. Don't do the same things that got folks into trouble in the early 2000s. Right. Folks, at 2002 to 2006, I mean, you're taking all your equity out. Alex, they were doing the 80-20 loans.
Negative AM loans.
Negative AM.
Super fun, Happy Meal ARM loans.
All sorts of bad things. And then, of course, when the values tanked, most families were upside down in their house. They let the house go. They ruined their credit. Very stressful times. Try to avoid all that by making smarter decisions. 248-539-9797. We were talking about, before we went into the last break, we were definitely talking about getting into your money together and savings. One of the number one ways that we sometimes used to sway away from it, but now that families are able to pull money out of their 401ks and pay themselves back, that's the key. The olden days, the 401k loan used to count against your debt-to-income ratio, and sometimes that would be a problem. Alex, now families are considering, and again, I don't know your views on this, but again, if it's going to get them out of a rental situation where families are throwing money away and paying for someone else's house, why not take a look at home ownership using your 401k funds? It only takes 3% down in most cases.
I think it's a great way to go. Yeah, because you're borrowing from yourself. You're paying yourself back the interest. I mean, I think it's a great way to go. I mean, a lot of people, first, I've maxed my 401k out every single year since I was 22 years old. And again, like, I'm pretty conservative. I mean, I don't, like I said, you don't need it. Like anything I have in my life right now, I mean, if Harry comes in Monday and says, Alex, you're fired, I mean, I'd be okay. I don't have, any major debt, but I sleep well at night. I don't worry about it. And I mean, here, if I get a big bill, I want it to be like on my visa because I was in Cabo for a week. I mean, that's
doing something fun.
Yeah, that's fun. I don't want to see a payment for my house, for for $3,000. I mean, like, I like to be out and doing stuff. So I'm
I was just going to add to what you're saying is, one of the reasons why as we talk about families saving money to purchase a new home, one of the reasons they're having trouble saving also is because like the high student loans in the younger generation, but also the rents now are so high.
Oh, the rents.
So yeah, I mean, a family back in the day when rent was lower than owning a house,
you could save
$300-$400 a month, whatever that ended up being, $3,000-$5,000 at the end of the year. After 2 years, you had enough money for your down payment for the house that was going to fit your family's needs.
Absolutely.
I was talking to Josh Taylor, who's one of my buddies, who's a realtor at Scout Real Estate in downtown Roanoke, and one of the guys that are renting two of the guys renting one of my duplexes now, they're recent Michigan State grads, good dudes, and Josh is like, you should be renting your duplex for X. And I'm like, for the one side, and I'm like, dude, I can't charge these kids that. I mean, I just like, and that's like what rents, like what they're going for.
Right.
Like that's like what I could get more, but
I can't.
I'm like, dude, I can't. Like, dude, they're Spartans. I mean, I can't do that to these kids. I mean, I'm looking at they're both carrying like $80,000 in student loans. I mean, I'm just not going to do that, dude. Like, I mean,
but you're the only landlord that will not do that. Everyone else is charging it.
Right. He also has a great group of guys in there. They're obviously paying on time, and that's key to it.
Well, not always.
Oh, not always. So they're paying under market value. And they're not paying on time. We might need to send them a message.
I'm very nice, but here's the thing, though. Like, they know what I do, and eventually, like I want to get them into a house one day. Like, dude, I'm not trying to hammer these kids so they can save nothing. I mean, let's help you. Let's help the millennials, Harvey.
You are a nice guy. 248-539-9797. Let's roll over to Greg in Macomb. Good morning, Greg. You're welcome to the show.
Morning. Thanks, guys.
Good morning.
Hi, I have a question. We are just purchasing a piece of property on the water with a home on it that we are going to tear down eventually, say in the next, probably this summer, say June. We have a house in Macomb that we also will have to sell, but we would kind of like to stay in this house and then also be able to get one loan to build a new house and then, roll it all into one loan.
Got a lot of action going on there. So, yeah. Greg, is the house you live in now, is it paid for?
No. But we have quite a bit of equity in it.
What do you own the house right now that you live in?
Say $175.
And what do you think it's worth?
I would say at least $350 by the market that we've been looking at.
Good so far. How much is the property you want to buy on the water?
We actually are buying it $227.
Okay, so you want to knock that down and build a house then?
Yep, this summer, probably June.
You need a true new construction loan, because here's the problem. If you buy that house as a vacation home, and you got to put that, I think a minimum of 10% is a vacation home, if you knock that down, it activates your due on sale clause, because that appraisal is based on the building as well as the land.
Yeah, but we actually want to get we actually don't want it. I think it's actually going to be appraised with the house on it originally. And then we want to kind of, I don't know, I saw the construction loan to conventional loan or some other kind of loan they were calling it, where you could do it all into one loan at the beginning based on what you think the house is going to be worth.
Yep, that's the one you need. So what you'll do is you'll have to hire an architect and present plans, and we have to say there's going to be an as-is value and a subject-to value. So we have to submit your plans, for the construction loan, because we don't want you. I mean, you can't be Kid Rock and put in like gold toilets and a go-kart track and all that. And overbuild. I don't know. I'm not friends with him. I don't even know, but I'm assuming he
listens. Yeah, he listens. I talk to
kids. Gold toilets and a go-kart track.
Sure, but that's cool.
But I mean, so you have to make sure that the house you're building is going to be worth what we're going to lend you the money on.
Okay. Did you hire? Who's going to build it? Who's going to build that house, Greg?
We have a friend that we grew up with and that lives out that way that we're probably going to have do it.
Yeah, licensed builder, right?
Yeah.
So you get him on board and tell him what you're going to do. And the one thing, as Alex mentioned, you need the architectural plan. So definitely start interviewing architects, get your plans worked up, talk to the builder. You're going to need to present all that in order to get the right loan for that new construction. You're going to be doing.
All right, that's something you guys do?
Yeah, we'll take care of it for you, man. I'll collect for the show. I'm going to take care of Greg.
All right, thank you.
Cool, thanks, man.
Thank you very much. All right, we got open lines till 10 o'clock, 248-539-9797 if you'd like to join the show. Always talk about things of interest.
That doesn't sound bad. New construction on the water.
No, sounds great. I was going to ask you to get into where it is and all that. For $227, that sounds good.
Highly
And you
St.
put another
Clair
two-
St. Clair Shores out that way.
Yep.
We love the water in this area, don't we, Harv?
We love the water.
You've been on the water for how many years?
Oh, 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, again, this time of year, not so much fun, but, and then, of course, in our region right now with the warmer temperatures, not as much ice fishing going on in snowmobile. We've heard the complaints from all our snowmobile friends across our region that there's no snow up north, but it's starting to turn into winter here. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. We'll be back right after this break.
With crisp, cold air and snow falling, it's time to celebrate winter. Ski-Doo will help you make it a great one with a brand new 2016 snowmobile. During the winter celebration promotion, save up to $2,016 on a new 2016 sled. Plus, get as low as 0% financing on 60 months. That's 2016 good reasons to get a new 2016 Ski-Doo. Stop by your local Ski-Doo dealer today and celebrate winter. Offer ends January 31st, subject to credit approval. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Hey, I have rhythm. I love to dance, and I've been told that I dance pretty well. But I'm also totally blind, which means that sometimes my circadian rhythms can get totally out of step with the world around me. Circadian rhythms are regulated by our internal master body clock. But because I can't perceive light, my body clock simply doesn't know what time it is. This can have me wide awake in the middle of the night and fighting to stay awake during the day. That can affect relationships and make it difficult to be productive at work. And it can make every day a real challenge. It's not my imagination. It's called Non-24, and it affects up to 70% of people who are totally blind. So if you're like me, you're not alone, and there is hope. Call 855-856-2424 today, or visit learnmorenon24.com to find out more about Non-24. Because learning more about Non-24 is the first step to getting your rhythm back.
Sponsored by Vanda Pharmaceuticals. Dr. Berkowitz from Michigan Hair Restoration is back to talk with us more about his groundbreaking hair restoration procedure. And first, I have to say, wow, you have a full head of hair over there.
Yes, I had the procedure done about a year ago, and the results are great.
And you know what? No one would ever know. It looks so natural.
Yeah, the procedure my team and I are performing is amazing. There's no pluggy palm tree look. There are no stitches or staples, no linear scar, and the transplanted hair is genetically programmed to grow. You will love your hair and feel more confident.
You know, a lot of guys are using this time of year to get back in shape, lose weight, but this could really do more for their appearance than 100 trips to the gym.
It really can. Many clients have even called this a life-changing event. If any of your listeners have even thought about hair restoration, I would love to help them.
Guys, stop waiting. Call 844-WANT-HAIR or visit drb4hair.com. That's DRB, the number 4, hair.com. The Detroit Tigers are on the move with the 2016 Winter Caravan. It'll be at Hockeytown Authentics in Troy, Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. Stop by for your chance to win great prizes like a fan pack with an Al Kaline autographed baseball, tickets to an April or May home game. Some will even win passes to the Champions Club. Or you can win a baseball autographed by Daniel Norris or J.D. Martinez. Get there early because starting at 4, the first 150 fans to donate a minimum of 3 canned goods can meet and have a photo taken with J.D. Martinez and Daniel Norris. Players subject to change. No autographs or posed photographs allowed.
In your radio, in your computer, and now in your pocket. Push, click, and listen. 97.1 The Ticket.
Welcome back, 944. If you're just tuning in, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Show. Again, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We're in our 16th season here on 97.1 The Ticket. Proud to bring you the show. Definitely, if you have any questions, give us a call here. 248-539-9797.
Conversations during the break.
Yeah, they're always the best.
Goodness.
Let's roll out to some of these calls here. We got a lot of exciting stuff to talk about still. Let's go out to Jerry first in West Bloomfield. Good morning, Jerry. Welcome to our...
I'm sorry,
we got Scott first. Stay on there, Jerry. Hey, Scott from Romulus. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. I've been listening to your show and stuff, and a couple years back, I had filed for like one of them government bailouts,
right,
on my home and stuff, trying to keep it and everything.
Right.
And a couple of years back, I went, like last year, I went to Quicken Loans to try and get my mortgage rate lowered. You know, I've never took no equity out the house or nothing.
But you got
the government put me at a 50-year mortgage.
Right. So what's
You've heard of a 50-year mortgage?
Well, yeah, you took a bailout, so they extended your term to make the house affordable, right?
Well, that's not really too helpful.
Well, why did you do it then?
Well, because I trusted the government, I reckon.
Well, that was your first mistake. You sound
Not
like,
to get into politics, but
you sound like a good guy. That was probably your first mistake.
What they did is they put you on a program that.
I mean, yeah, some of us are just too gullible, and like I say, I believed what they were throwing, and it said nothing about no 50-year mortgage, and I just never heard of it, and anybody I've talked to's never heard of it.
I actually haven't either.
Hey, Scott, we'd have to take a look at it to see if it's a true 50-year mortgage, but it sounds like to me, if it's accurate, what they did was they lowered your payment to get it down to something affordable.
Right.
And it would take you 50 years to pay it off, is what you're saying.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, there's no such,
But my house payment only dropped like maybe $150, and, it's slowly climbing back up.
What's the balance?
79.
Yeah, right. So that's the
Same as what I paid for 15 years ago.
But here's the thing: if you drop a $79,000 balance payment to over $100, it's going to take it's going to add years to the payoff. Right. So do you have the paperwork? We'd like to take a look at the paperwork just to make sure what we're looking at is accurate.
Hey, Scott, you can always
I don't have it on me.
No, not right this second. I mean, if you get it to us, we'd like to take a look at it for you, just so maybe we could help other people out too, and maybe we can help you out.
There you go.
Yeah, I would really appreciate it. I'll tell you what, I'm trying everything I can to keep my home, keep my family in it. And like I said, with the federal government bailout, I thought, hey, they're helping people stay in their homes. But,
Scott.
and another thing, too, is I have a neighbor that she took, and her guy told her that if the bank doesn't contact her within 5 years, just for her to make her payments on taxes and that she would get the home for free.
Oh, yeah, sure.
No, that's not true.
The moon's not made of cheese?
No, Scott, that's not true.
She has the home.
No, dude, I'm telling you, she's going to be on the street. I'm telling you right now. Scott,
nobody's giving away homes.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Scott, you sound like a really good guy. I mean, and I definitely want to help you. Let me call you after the show. Pull that paperwork together that you signed on that bailout. Let me take a look at it and see what we can do for you.
Yeah. No problem, Scott. Thanks for the call, man. We're going to move on now, but definitely grab your stuff. 248-539-9797. We take all your calls. That was a HAMP program, Home Affordable Modification Program. Right. They lay it out for you. What they did, they extended the term to make it affordable to keep in the house. Guess what? You can pay additional money and pay off your house. You can definitely do that on that mortgage. So, again, better information, more professionals in your life is going to make things easier for you. Let's move on. Jerry out there in West Bloomfield. Good morning, Jerry. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. How you doing?
Morning, sir.
What's up, Jerry?
Sorry I went to the wrong call last one. I apologize, sir.
No problem. Question. My wife and I sold our home last summer. I've got about $90,000 in equity that we want to use towards purchasing a condo, and we wanted to downsize.
Awesome.
We've now moved in with my daughter and son-in-law, so there's not a real big hurry to move out, even though we'd like to do it in the next couple of months.
They disagree, but
I got no,
he's on line 5.
It's funny, but they actually want us to stay longer, which really shocked me. So I have the only debt that I have is I have a balance on the credit card for $14,000, and I have a $200 a month car payment.
Okay.
And I'm wondering, is it better for me to take some of the equity money and pay off my credit card?
Yes.
Do that.
Yes.
It is, because we're looking at purchasing a condo of around $150,000-160,000.
So you've got $90,000 to play with, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's just say for the sake of round numbers, 30-year mortgages are right around 4%, bouncing to the low 4s right now. I'm guessing the rate on that credit card on the $14,000 is somewhere around 15%.
Yeah, I think it's around 12 something.
Okay,
right?
So anytime you pay a debt off of $14,000 at 15%, it's like seeing a return on your money of 15%. I don't know if you've watched the market the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's gotten crushed. So if you can get 15% on $14,000, it's a great way to go.
Pay it off.
Pay that off, and then we can buy the new condo. If you want to use, I'd actually probably try to put on 20% on the condo.
So he needs 30 there.
Yeah, and then keep the rest of the money and put it in your IRA. I mean, put it use it for retirement, man. Absolutely.
That's what I mean. My wife is now retired. I'm still working full time, so I wasn't sure what would be the best way. I'm planning on retiring hopefully next January.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, but let's keep some of that money in the bank for you. You know, and for whatever for your retirement down the road. I mean, it's a whole. You got to look at the entire picture. Let's set up. Let's get the credit card debt knocked off. Let's get the.
We're going to qualify them.
Yeah, we'll qualify for for the new mortgage, and then let's get some money set aside in an IRA. For your retirement.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of how I was leaning, but having a discussion with my family, they're saying, "Oh no, don't use the money to pay off the card." And I'm saying, I think it's the best idea.
Jerry, 100% pay that off.
I hope you're not related to me, Jerry.
Is that your know-it-all brother?
I know some people that but no, I'm not.
Jerry, is that your know-it-all brother-in-law telling you to do that?
Yeah,
boy.
That's the know-it-all brother-in-law.
No, it's the
you know him, Joe. Here, you really do know Jerry.
I probably know Jerry.
Hey, Jerry, it's a great call.
We'll call you for the show, buddy. Get it all taken care of for you, sir.
I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
man. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Just in that phone call, here's what I wanted. Yeah, he's a good
I
guy.
love Jerry and Scott. The last two calls,
We want to immediately get him the numbers to say, hey, Jerry, if you guys, this is what's going to happen. If you're looking at a $150,000 condo, this is what it's going to cost you to get in. Do you qualify, first of all?
Right.
And do you have the money to make the transaction work? Of course you want to get rid of that high interest rate credit card.
Even more interesting, who's telling somebody that has cash not to pay off
Their debt.
a 12 to 15% revolving debt to get out of that debt, which has no benefit. Okay, it absolutely has no benefit.
Let me move on to this call. That's a good one.
I don't get it.
We're going to go to Bruce or Alex?
Hey, whatever you want.
Let's go to Bruce.
Hey, Bruce, from Bloomfield Hills. Go ahead, Bruce.
Hey, good morning.
Morning,
guys.
sir.
A couple comments before I get into my question. My two boys are fishing right now on Wing Lake. There's 4 inches of ice.
Oh, nice.
What are they doing?
I'll get my rowboat out there and rope.
Like,
Good. Be careful.
But yeah, right. They're careful. My other comment before is I am a home investor. I do it on the side, and I do use my equity line of credit to finance some of those purchases. All right, here's my question. As you said, the market's getting crushed. The economy's in turmoil. We're on the edge, the verge of a recession. Do you think this will adversely affect our home pricing in the future? Are home prices going to come down because of this, do you feel, or are they going to maintain?
I personally think, and this is just my opinion, I think we're really pushing 2008 values. I think a lot of the houses, they're overpriced, and people are throwing them out there just to see what they can get for them. I don't see, a housing crash in the imminent future, but, I could see a lot the market going stagnant for a while. I mean, you just, you're from Bloomfield Hills. I mean, I grew up there. I don't see, there's not enough income in this area to support, $1 million properties. It's just not going to happen.
Well, but people are feeling, on the other hand, Bruce, people are feeling really good about their position now. Their jobs are good. The jobs market in our area is good. In our area where you live, specifically Bloomfield Hills and Birmingham, the values have come back in a way that has been second to none since I've been doing this, and that's 27 years. I think people have to be careful. But the bottom line is that the values where you're living have really, come back. And we feel really good about that. Now, if you're asking, are they going to continue to go up, 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 and up? That's market driven. If there are a lot of people in the market that are going to buy them, well, then the answer is yes. However, is that it all depends on what you want to try to accomplish, what your goals and objectives are.
Yeah, I got a funny thing, Bruce. Last night I'm talking to a friend of mine, and he says, Harvey, we're renting this house over here off of Maple, and we're looking over that Wing Lake area. So I got good news for you. Your area is very hot, Bruce, and we see values at least staying firm, but you got to be careful. Supply and demand really drives, I think, our market, our area for sure. But it's a great call. Thank you, and tell the boys to be careful out there. Another couple days, it'll be frozen for sure.
You got it. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
you.
For those ice fishermen out there, that is a quick, be careful.
I just want to bring one thing up. Bruce talked about the market crashing, and I guess crashes, it's a relative term. The market's not crashing. And I was talking to my buddy Jeff Smith. He's a financial advisor over UBS.
Yeah.
And with the market being down, let's just say 10%, if you've got if you've got $1 million in the bank, you're going to be down $100,000. It's a lot of money. But he really hit on don't panic. Like people that panic end up losing money. It's the same thing.
Right.
People, my house value, it's down 20%. I'm walking away. If you panic, it's going to cost you more money.
Absolutely.
You got to hold fast and just stay the course.
We're just heating up here, but we see Pat Caputo and company outside. So that means our show's over with. We'll see you next Saturday here on the Hardcore Mortgage Show. We were brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call all day long at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We got, again, Pat Caputo, and I don't know if...
Is Bogey out there?
I think Bogey is out there.
And
all right.
Congratulations to my buddy Mark Robinson. Get married this afternoon. I'll see you in a couple hours.
There you go.
Congratulations, buddy.
We want to thank Nicole Moscow from Remax Classic. For
Thanks
Harry
for having
Glanz,
me.
Alex Nafusi, I'm Harvey Freed. See you next Saturday.
Preceding was a paid program. Views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of CBS Radio, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Hi, Harry Glantz for Capital Mortgage Funding. Rates are at historic lows, so what are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE and let our award-winning staff help you save money. Look, if you're looking to purchase a new home, refinance your existing home, and you want to save money, call 1-800-LOW-RATE and take advantage of these historic low rates. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. What are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE. Capital Mortgage Funding is powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS ID number 2289, Equal Housing Lender.
You know the story of Hansel and Gretel, where Hansel left breadcrumbs on the trail so they could find their way back home? That's what you do when you use public Wi-Fi, or shop online, or give out your social security number at your doctor's office or the bank. You leave breadcrumbs on the trail for someone to possibly steal your identity and take everything you own. At LifeLock, we use proprietary technology to detect signs that someone has picked up your breadcrumbs to take what's yours. And unlike free credit monitoring services that only alert you, we have a dedicated resolution staff to help clean things up if all those breadcrumbs get messy. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But with LifeLock, you can keep doing the things you do every day and feel better protected. Isn't it time to help protect yourself from someone eating your financial lunch? Plans start at $9.99 a month. Right now, you can get 10% off. Go to LifeLock.com and enter promo code AWARE.
I'm standing on the surface of the sun to prove a point. The sun's the only thing hotter than the 4 new hot theme instant games from the Michigan Lottery. Could somebody put out my pants? Thank you. See, from $1 hot cash to $10 hot riches, over $150 million in total prizes. You can win up to $1 million instantly. But here's the difference. The sun is 92 million miles from the earth. But these hot theme tickets are as close as your nearest lottery retailer. So try them and put some red hot play in your day. Anybody bring sunblock? Hey, Club Keno players, Doubler Days are back, and so is Professional Double Talker.
Dr. Professor Irving Corey, PhD, D as in Doubler Days.
I think they got it.
It's a way for players to multiply by a factor of 2, or double if you will, their fun and excitement, or fun-citement, if I may, and I just did.
Let me translate. Random Club Keno tickets are printed with a doubler message. If your ticket has the message and you win, you'll double your prize up to $4 million.
I couldn't have said it better myself, which I am.
All this month, winning is twice